story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I'm Gift or Gete. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan confirms that military operations are now ongoing in the dreaded Sambisa forest. Also in this program, the United Nations confirmed that Nigeria is a model to follow for other African countries. Federal government confirms that the nation now generates 5,500 megawatts of electricity. Outside Nigeria, members of the United Nations Security Council got teary-eyed after a video gas attack in Syria. Good to have you stay on with us. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Now details of the headlines and other stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has confirmed that Nigerian troops have commenced the final push to take the last remaining stronghold of Boko Haram in Sambisa forest. He, however, wants the United Nations to focus more on helping to rehabilitate people affected by terrorism in the northeast, rather than deploying an international force in the country. President Jonathan said at an audience with the special representatives of the UN Secretary-General for West Africa and Central Africa, Mohamed Chambers, and Abdoulaye Bathily, the UN intervention in Nigeria should not be based on Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which relates to military enforcement of peace, but on Chapter 8. He noted that the provisions of Chapter 8, which recognizes the role of regional bodies such as the African Union in working with the United Nations and promoting peace and security, were robust enough to tackle insurgents in Nigeria and other African countries. President Jonathan also told the UN envoys that with the cooperation of neighboring countries, the Nigerian military had already begun most of the territories seized by Boko Haram in Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno State. In his remarks, Chambers commended the president for his statesmanship following the outcome of the March 28 presidential and parliamentary elections in Nigeria. He told President Jonathan that the UN team was visiting countries affected by the Boko Haram insurgencies, including Chad, Cameroon, and Niger. Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, Alex Bade, has blamed the rise of terrorism in some parts of the country on the nonchalant attitude of state governments, especially in the north, to human development. He specifically described Boko Haram activities in the northeast as a revolution against leaders who have failed to ensure the well-being of their people over the years. Air Marshal Bade, however, noted that the military has risen to the challenge posed by the terrorists and has succeeded in flushing them out of the areas that had previously occupied. The Chief of Defense Staff spoke at a forum put together by Support Our Troops Foundation in Abuja.
Thank you very much for keeping the armed forces in the psyche of Nigerians, to always show or to always remind them that Nigeria is best safe when your troops are motivated, when they are urged on and supported to do their work. Not everybody will agree with you, but we know that majority agree with you. And if you are with the majority, then I think you are achieving the aim of what you are doing. Nigerian troops are very brave soldiers. We have shown it all over the world. We had issues last year, but I think we have promised to never again allow those kind of things to happen to Nigeria. And I know that we are going to keep our word. Very soon, what is happening in the Northeast, we wouldn't say will be history, but we will overcome all the major ones. What will be left are those ones left to criminality. Insurgency, once it starts in a country, you live with it. It happens in every country. You know, domestic terrorism. In America, a young man will just carry a gun and start killing people. That's terrorism. Somebody will go and explode a bomb somewhere. That's terrorism. What more of there be? What less of Nigeria, where people are so disgruntled? All these things are caused by poverty of the mind, poverty of education, poverty of the pocket, all manners of poverty and disease. And it's like some people feel that life is not worth it. But as our democracy grows, I think our leaders, especially at the state level, will see that it is better you take care of the people, otherwise they could revolt against you. And what has happened with this Boko Haram is a kind of revolution driven by hopelessness. I like to call it hopelessness, and that's why they went the way they have gone. Because I cannot see why people would choose to die rather than to live. It must be kind of hopelessness.
Still in remembrance of the Chibok girls, where over 200 schoolgirls were abducted from their school hostel in Chibok by the Boko Haram sect, a group by the name Bring Back Our Girls Lagos was at the Gani Fahimi Freedom Park to express their solidarity for the return of the girls. Leader of the group, Wale Ogunade, together with members, say they are not deterred by the debut number of the group, but their major concern is to stress that it is not just a cause to be fought for by the northern part of Nigeria, it is a national cause.
I can't experience this kind of thing without shouting out. Fela said his song so many years ago, if your matter never reach where you go shout, but your own don't reach where you go shout. So I have to shout because I'm a father. If my daughter is missing for over a year, I need to shout. That people need to help me. Everybody who have this kind of problem should shout to government. Government is the one that can help us. They are the one that control the military, the police, the DSS, and all the security apparatus belong to federal government. That's why I'm involved, to plead on behalf of Nigeria that government should go a little bit more. They do a little bit more to bring these baggage, and Nigeria will appreciate that.
Every day I cry. Why should this where the children are supposed to be writing their WAEC? They just came and deceived them, and they took them away. I just put myself in the shoes of those parents, how they are feeling, how would they be eating, where is the joy? Their joy has been taken away from them.
If we keep quiet and look at it that well, it's a northern affair, it's a Chibok affair. It's a northern affair, it's a Chibok affair. One day it may be the turn of us in the southwest or any other part of the country, and we need a voice too. And that's why we think it is better we to support this project from Lagos.
The United Nations is convinced that Nigeria is a model for other African countries with the success of the 2015 general elections. The special envoy of the UN Secretary General for West Africa, Mohammed Chambers, said this after a closed-door meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja. He also maintained that the global body is keen on helping Nigeria and its neighbor put an end to the activities of Boko Haram.
We have come first and foremost to convey to Mr. President the personal best wishes of His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations, who has come to have a personal admiration for President Goodluck Jonathan for the exemplary leadership we have seen, particularly with regard to the conduct of elections. During his tenure, he has been able to work to deliver 2 credible, peaceful, transparent elections for Nigeria. The second one, these presidential elections that just ended, have been truly a model for Africa. And I myself, as you know, I've always said that this year will be a year of elections in West Africa. And to have started on such a bright note with Nigeria, giving us a model.
The United Nations team was also in Kaduna, where they urged President-elect Muhammadu Buhari to sustain the gains made by the outgoing government in the war against insurgency. UN Special Envoy Mohammed Chambers told journalists after a closed-door meeting that sustaining the victory achieved in the last 6 weeks by the military over the insurgents will give room for the rehabilitation of affected persons. He also urged assured Nigerians of the double body's readiness to work closely with the incoming administration and commended the president-elect for placing security on top of his priority. A civil rights group, the Bridge Builders of the Niger Delta, has promised to support efforts by President-elect Muhammadu Buhari to check militancy in the region. The group also urged him not to abandon the amnesty program and other good initiatives of the outgoing administration. National coordinator of the group, Ntuyoga, made this known at the news conference in Abuja. They also commended President Goodluck Jonathan for conceding defeat even before the final results of just concluded presidential election were announced.
The amnesty, this is a program that has come to stay, that the militants have all left their camps, dropped their arms, and they have taken some of them for trainings, and some of them are still here in training. The coming administration will always work with this. As he assumes office, it will look at the amnesty in particular. Then what is good for it to sustain the militants that have already dropped their arms? It will always try to do something more better.
General Muhammadu Buhari is the president-elect of Nigeria. He's not the president-elect of a particular state in Nigeria. And so there is no way General Muhammadu Buhari will not want to pick a minister or a leader or any person from Niger Delta that will help him move the nation forward. And if we listen to his acceptance speech when he collected his certificate of return, he said he's stretching his arm to all the people of Nigeria to come together and work with him and see how he can move forward.
A federal high court in Lagos has suspended enforcement of a judgment which stopped the Lagos state government from imposing movement restriction on citizens during the monthly sanitation exercise in the state. By implication, anyone found moving between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the last Saturday of the month, either on the state or federal roads in Lagos while the sanitation exercise is being observed, would be liable to arrest. The fresh order made by Justice Mohammed Idris on Friday put on hold the enforcement of a March 16, 2015 judgment nullifying the power of Lagos State and its agents to arrest anyone found moving during the sanitation exercise. According to the judge, the March 16 judgment would not be enforced until the outcome of the appeal filed by Lagos State challenging the judgment. Idris, however, ordered the state to compile records of proceedings within 90 days, otherwise the stay of execution would be voided. The Lagos State government, through its Solicitor General, Mr. Lawal Pedro, had filed an application for stay of execution, urging Idris to similarly suspend the enforcement of his judgment. Idris had on March 16th declared the movement restriction policy as illegal and a violation of Section 35 and 41 of the Constitution, which preserved the citizens' right to personal liberty and freedom of movement. You're watching CoreTV Prime Time News. We'll take a quick break. Please stay with us.
Introducing Smart Connect, we get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text, and browse in yafu 14 in the morning.
Igwe. Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they summer me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own Airtel SIM every day. As correct person, anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they summer me with free internet to browse. If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one. Oh baby.
Akururu. This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last to buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's CoreTV Prime Time News. Now a quick reminder of some of our headlines. President Goodluck Jonathan confirms that major operations are now ongoing in the dreaded Sambisa forest. The United Nations confirmed that Nigeria is a model to follow for other African countries. Federal government confirms that the nation now generates 5,500 megawatts of electricity. Now, don't forget that you can also catch us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter, CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/CoreTV Space News. Speaking against abortion, political killings, artificial killing, and maltreatment of the human race, a group of pro-life campaigners in the state capital of Oyo have challenged the Nigerian government to wake up to their responsibilities of protecting the continuous existence of humans as well as sustaining a qualitative kind of life. Motayo Alo completes the story.
Life, they say, has no duplicate. Little wonder these leaders of a pro-life group have taken seriously the propagation of life-supportive messages in the bid to curtail the scores of unnatural deaths being recorded in the country on a daily basis.
The culture of death is growing. We are copying the Western world too much. We are just copying blindly. They are using bombs, we must use bombs. They have small guns in their pockets, we want to use guns in their pockets. When they are fighting, the first thing is they shoot each other. We are getting to that. Why do we have to copy the Western world on bad things? When we have our own way of life, we have our culture. Why don't we build up our own culture? Culture of respect, culture of community, culture of sharing.
All those who think that it's okay to kill a baby in the womb or kill someone else, we just ask them, how about you? Is it okay to kill you? How about before you were born? If somebody decided to kill you, how would you feel about that?
After a 3-day extensive training with Christians and non-Christians delegates from both within and outside the shores of the country, these participants from Ilorin, Ekiti and Oyo respectively share the importance of value for human lives.
Abstinence is for a limited time, celibacy is for a group of people, but chastity is for all. So that is what it is, should be more of importance, that you just do away with all this, then there won't be any need for you to abort if you are If you are a chaste person.
Life is sacred. God gives life. And when God gives life, nobody can take it.
Ladies should be conscious of their environment, because we now know that we are the lights of everyone. So we should be able to carry it out and allow everybody to enjoy from it.
Muscle was the nation marks 1 year of the abducted Chibok girls in captivity of insurgent group. The Archbishop of Ibadan Diocese berates the federal government for not doing well enough on the rescue of the girls, and at the same time encourage the parents to be hopeful and not cease in their faith in God.
Because our government is not sincere, that's just it. They are not sincere. If they were sincere, those foreign bodies should have helped us to find the girls, even if you are not strong enough.
With a view to protecting innocent lives, convener of the conference expressed readiness to partner more with government, who is in the position to churn out life-friendly policies for the sustainability of God's creation. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Still from Oyo State, the state governor Abiola Ajimobi says he will work to correct past mistakes his administration have made and redouble his efforts to make the next 4 years worthwhile for the people of the state. He, however, called on those who lost at the just concluded elections to put differences aside and work together with his administration in moving the state forward. Again, Omotayo Alo has the details.
Lending credence to the saying that all that has a beginning surely must have an end, is the experience being played out as winners of both National Assembly and governorship elections received their certificates of return, legitimizing the mandates bestowed upon them by the electorate, who gave them the right to lead in the coming 4 years. Oyo State Resident Electoral Commissioner Rufus Sakeju charged the successful candidate to make good use of the opportunity the people have given to them, as the time of reckoning is not as far as they usually think.
Do not disappoint the voters that sacrifice their comfort and time to participate in the elections. I wish you all a successful tenure.
Having expressed their gratitude to the electorate, the newly elected officers promised not to let the people down by doing all in their power to give them the best of governance.
I am not going to rest until the best is achieved.
I've been touching lives, so definitely I'm going to improve on it strongly.
I take this certificate as a rededication to the good people, to doing good work for the good people of Ibadan North Federal Constituency.
For the National Commissioner in charge of Ekiti, Ogun and Oyo, Lai Olurode, Oyo State recorded the highest number of rejected votes, which he described as an avoidable problem if politicians took voters' sensitization seriously. He, however, advised politicians to be civil and democratic in all their conduct, adding that for Nigeria to advance, people need to change their mindset.
Anybody who is dissatisfied, rather than resorting to self-help, let the people go to court. They can go to court 100 times. As long as we have done a neat election, you will not see any stain on the election that we have done.
Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi was full of thanks to the people of Oyo, who not only gave him a second-term gift, but also voted massively for his party, both at state and federal level. He also gave kudos to the electoral body for conducting the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria.
Let us not be involved in acrimony, rancor, or violence. Let us not resort to self-help. I use that opportunity, therefore, to invite all those that ran the race with me and with us, that they should come on board. Let us work together to develop Oyo State.
As the successful candidates look forward to 29 May swearing in into their respective elected position, the electorate on the other end patiently anticipate the dividends of democracy in the shortest period of time. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
And now to Ogun State, where the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun has promised the state's civil servants an improved administration and a conducive working environment for all. Olajumoke Olatunji, who was at the Government House venue of the meeting between the governor and civil servants, filed in this report.
As a mark of appreciation and to bury the hatchet,
Governor of Ogun State, Vikunle Amosu, has approached workers of the Ogun State Civil Service to show his appreciation for their support during the just concluded governorship election, culminating in his victory. He also used the occasion to reiterate his commitment to their welfare, promising them a well-defined administration that will never take them for granted.
Please, this is your government. What did I say? Don't let anybody come between us. I will not allow it. If workers are good, they've had their opportunities. But this is now the time that our workers will know that thank God, so this can happen to us.
The Deputy Governor, Yetunde Onanuga, who also spoke at the meeting, solicited for the support of all as the new administration kicks off in less than 2 months from now.
And as His Excellency has said, I was once a civil servant. I served 31 years in Lagos State. I am part of you. Once a civil servant, so I know that we are going to work together this second term. We are going to cooperate with this government once again, and we are going to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
With this new relationship between Amosu and the civil servants, the workers seems hopeful and enthusiastic. The renewed dawn is indeed here for them. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
In Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose says he is open to a political solution to the ongoing political crisis in the state. The governor, who spoke at the Thanksgiving program to celebrate his victory, and the Supreme Court also extended the olive branch to his opponents. Rashid completes the story.
The residents of Ado-Ekiti woke up to a work-free day declared by organized labor unions, having all entry points into the capital city blocked from the early hours of the morning to 12 noon. As the enforcement of the sit-at-home caused stir in Ado-Ekiti, the labor leaders gathered at Fajiri Park suing for peace in the state in the face of its protracted political crisis, directing their appeal to the 19 APC lawmakers.
If there is no peace, as you understand me, there can't be development. So that is why we are calling on these people to allow peace to reign in Ekiti State. It cannot. You see, the problem they are having is this: when Governor Adeya was governor in this state, there was peace. But when the political atmosphere shifted to PDP, they didn't allow peace to reign.
We have it together. They should come home and let's salvage it together. Let's build the Ekiti together. They shouldn't stay outside or run away and continue to throw stone or cause problem to Ekiti State. I believe one day will be one day they will still come back to their home. If they are so popular, I see no reason why they should run away.
Meanwhile, Governor Ayodele Fayose, still basking in the euphoria of his victory at the Supreme Court, had a Thanksgiving at the Ansarudeen Central Mosque in Ado-Ekiti. Fayose, however, still recognizes that there are more hurdles to be crossed. He calls for a roundtable as he expressed his readiness for any political solution to the impeachment acts dangling on his head.
If I have offended anybody that is causing all these problems, they should please forgive me for the sake of his common people, so that we can move this state forward. I've only one tenure, because I've done one. So I conclude this one, I'll go to my house. Anything that can bring peace cannot be wished away. Anything that can bring peace. If peace will be gotten through a day-old baby, we should look for the peace. For me, I'm ready to accommodate everybody. Whatever they want, we can sit down and talk. We need peace to govern this state.
With the 19 APC lawmakers keeping silent over the week, no one can say if the call for peace has been considered by them or they are actually buying time for their next move. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Edo State says it will boycott The inconclusive House of Assembly election rescheduled for tomorrow, Saturday, 18th of May 2015. 18th of April, I beg your pardon, 2015, in Orion 1 Constituency 2, in Orion 1 local government area of the state. CoreTV News presents this update on the party's boycott from Benin.
The PDP chairman of Orion 1 local government area of the state, Nosa Ogieva Okumbo, while addressing newsmen in Benin after an enlarged stakeholders meeting of the party, resolved that the party will not partake in the election because of the alleged flagrant abuse of electoral process.
It was resolved that considering the flagrant and gross abuse of electoral process by INEC, we Orion people condemn the manipulation of result by INEC and resolved that in the rerun that is coming up in Ukpato tomorrow, that PDP Orion 1 will not participate in that rerun.
The local government party chairman who accused the resident electoral commissioner Mikey Guinea of colluding with the ruling party in the state, the APC, to arrive at a predetermined outcome for the rescheduled poll.
The resident electoral commission, in a stakeholders meeting held here in Benin, promised all parties that without card reader, there will be no election. In some of the wards, no card reader was used. This same man was present, yet he accepted that result. Even when accreditation was taken in the State House of Assembly election, the result that came was 3 times more than the accreditation. Yet the REC in Edo State accepted the result and is now advising us to go to court to challenge it.
The PDP House of Assembly candidate represented Orion 1 Constituency 2, Friday Ogeriahi, vowed to approach the court despite his non-participation in what he described as a corrupted process.
And we have come to the sober conclusion that there is no need going on to dignify an already corrupted process, as it will lead, as it were, to a predetermined end, and that is to allot that seat to the APC. You know, so that is the decision we have taken, and for me, it is the best in the circumstance. All of the complaints that we have tabled before the INEC, the Resident Electoral Commissioner in Edo State, he has treated them shabbily. He has also ignored so many of them, when of course they are very fundamental. It goes to the root and the foundation on which perhaps they want to attempt to do a rerun election. And I will know, and I'm very confident about that eventually the truth will come out.
It will be recalled that the INEC had declared the elections in the Orion 1 Constituency 2 inconclusive in 3 wards out of the 6 wards that make up the constituency, following electoral irregularities and violence in the area.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists has inaugurated a 7-man electoral committee to oversee a political transition or a peaceful transition to another administration. NUJ President Mohammed Garba inaugurated the committee on Friday at the Union Secretariat in Abuja. He charged the members not to be partisan and reminded them of the danger of officiating an election that is fraught with irregularities.
Agreed at the National Executive Council meeting that we should go for an election between 24th to 27th of June 2015. And we carefully selected amongst our members 7-member committee that will be responsible in the conduct of this election. And it is part of my own responsibility to formally inaugurate them, which I did. And I told them they should be neutral, they should be fair to everybody, they should not side with any candidate. And we gave them all the terms of reference, but the principal term of reference is for them to ensure that we have a credible election. And I raised a very serious issues that the politicians have now posed a serious challenge to the media and the civil society. The media and the civil society have been very, very critical, if you look at it, in criticizing how elections were conducted. And fortunately, we were able to get it right in 2015. The electoral body Empire was able to conduct an election that is credible, an election that is free and fair, an election that is generally accepted by majority of Nigerians and even the international community. So it is now a challenge to us who are really criticizing how elections were conducted. It is therefore necessary for me to appeal to the electoral body in NUG to ensure that we conduct an election that is even better than the one that was conducted by Jiga.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and be back with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News. Welcome back now to business. The Nigerian authorities have put the country's power generation at 5,500 megawatts. Power Minister Chinedu Nebo, who disclosed this, explained that the Jonathan administration would have done better if not for vandals who have been breaking gas pipelines. He spoke shortly after a closed-door meeting of the board of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company in Abuja. Pio Samuel has details.
This is the last meeting of the board of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company before the outgoing administration bows out of office. The board is chaired by the Vice President, Namadi Sambo, and has a membership that includes the governors of Benue and Gombe State. Speaking shortly after a closed-door meeting, Governor Gabriel Suswan says the board will not be able to complete some of the projects it has started. He attributed this to the time left for the Jonathan administration to hand over to the incoming government.
The board resolved to commission some of the numerous projects that under the NIPP program. Those projects are to be commissioned in the subsequent weeks. The MD of Niger Delta will mention the projects that were to commission. There are numerous. He will mention that. The board also noted that given the time constraint, the sale transaction, especially of the of the generation plant, some will not necessarily be completed. The MD of Niger Delta Power Holding Company will also touch on some of these transactions that this board, because of the time, will not be able to complete them.
Minister of Power, for his part, painted a picture of performance, but insisted that the non-availability of power is largely due to the handiwork of saboteurs. He was emphatic in describing gas pipeline vandalism in some parts of the country as a major challenge.
The problem today is still vandalism. Whether it is the eastern or western axis, we keep suffering vandalism. And it happened almost predictably every 2 weeks. Once they hit the western axis, Escravos-Lagos pipeline, the only reason they hit it is apparently for sabotage, because you can't collect the gas, you can't sell the gas, you can't store the gas. Only gas flows through these pipelines. So anybody who is doing that is only trying to sabotage the effort of the government and to make sure that Nigerians are kept in darkness.
The minister expressed concerns over the cost of fixing one vandalized gas pipeline and noted that if the money is channeled to boosting power supply, Nigerians would have been enjoying 24-hour power supply.
We are on a constant maintenance exercise, constant repair exercise, to the point that after the February-March vandalism, 4 vandalism, heavy, massive ones between these 2 months took place, we had to really test the reliability of the entire system to be sure that it was still strong enough technically to handle gas flow. And it cost the gas company, transport company, a minimum of 120 million naira every month.
Members of the board are, however, convinced that they have created a template for the incoming administration to work on.
New things keep coming that requires attention, and so I don't believe that they will just come and revoke this project simply because they were given by the previous administration. They will look at it and then take informed decisions. So I don't think the fact that most of these people have not completed the transaction is not so much of fear that the incoming administration will revoke it. But it is just that there are issues, as been mentioned here, issues of gas. There are also some minor legal issues that need to be settled, and a lot of money is involved, if we must also note that.
For now, the board is promising to ensure that gas is supplied to power plants across the country before the end of the tenure of the Jonathan administration. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
All right, now it's time to join Sabina Izoku on Stock Market Report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izoku. The equities market on the floor, the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today as the Nigerian All-Shares Index increased to 0.50% to close at 35,005.05 basis points. The market capitalization rose to close at 11.92 trillion naira. In all, a total volume of 315.6 million units of shares, valued at 3.4 billion naira, exchanged in 4,940 deals. On the gainer side, Unilever topped the chart to trade with 43 naira 43 kobo with a price difference of 1 naira 90 kobo, followed by Nigerian Breweries, United Africa Company of Nigeria, Dangote Cement, and Wando Oil. On the flip side, Nestle topped the chart, followed by Mobil Oil, Guinness, West African Production Company, and Stanbic IBTC. Meanwhile, First Bank Nigerian Holdings topped the traders chart, followed by Fidelity Bank, United Bank for Africa, Zenith Bank, and Transcorp. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today. I am Sabina Izoku.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
There you have it, Stock Market Report with Sabina Izoku. It's now time for sports with Emmanuel Ezekiel. Over to Emmanuel.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
No, taking them out in the lead.
Thank you, Gift. Facing pressure over his failure to properly account for the sum of $150,000 paid by Celtic as part of 20% sell-on clause inserted in the deal that took Efe Ambrose to Ashdod of Israel. The sum, which roughly amounts to 30 million naira in Nigeria's currency, was reportedly paid last year as Sambu Babayero, back as club chairman, confirmed a transaction it wasn't being paid. And finally, former Enyimba and Kano Pillars coach Salisu Yusuf will be the new Take that again. Former Enyimba and Kano Pillars coach Salisu Yusuf will be the new assistant to Stephen Keshi when he returns as the Super Eagles coach. The Academy Warriors coach has been mentioned as possible replacement for the outgoing Daniel Amokati, but it was not Talisi had previously worked with coaches to Samson Siasa during his brief reign as a Super Eagles coach. And moving on to the EPL, Jose Mourinho will again put his friendship with Luis van Gaal to one side on Saturday when Chelsea attempts to take another giant stride towards lifting the Barclays Premier League title. Van Gaal takes his informed Manchester United side to their first victory over the London club in 8 matches. Chelsea manager Mourinho worked under his United counterpart Van Gaal at Barcelona, and the duo remained good friends as they demonstrated with embraces during and after a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford back in October. With second place Arsenal not in league action this weekend due to their FA Cup semi-final against Reading, the Blues can strengthen their grip on the top spot by seeing off United. Well, that's our last take on the sports desk. Back to you, Gift.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back from sports. We go straight to outside Nigeria. Members of the United Nations Security Council got teary-eyed on Thursday when Syrian doctors showed a video of failed attempts to resuscitate 3 children after a chlorine gas attack in March, prompting renewed calls for accountability. The children aged 1, 2 and 3, their parents and grandmother were killed in the March 16 attack on Samin village in northwest Idlib province, said Dr. Mohammed Tenari, director of the field hospital where the family was taken. Government and opposition forces in Syria have denied using chlorine barrel bombs, which the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, says dropped from helicopters. The Syrian Air Force is the only party in the conflict known to have helicopters. Tenari, Dr. Zaha, president of the Syrian American Medical Society, and Kwasi Zakarai, the survivor of the sarin gas attack in Ghouta near Damascus in August 2013, briefed in formal closed meeting organized by the United States. The Security Council failed last year to refer the civil war in Syria, now in its 5th year, to the International Criminal Court for possible prosecution of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Syrian ally Russia, backed by China, voted the move. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Just before we go, a recap of our major headlines. We told you that President Goodluck Jonathan confirms that military operations are now ongoing in the dreaded Sambisa forest. We also brought you reports that the United Nations have confirmed that Nigeria is a model to follow for other African countries. And that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for staying on with us till the end. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Gift or Geta. Do have a lovely, lovely night rest.